Hey all, Jonah here. Today we're going to be talking about something really pretty awesome, pretty cool. Today we're going to talk about Galileo Galilei and his funny philosophy on this thing called heliocentrism. Now, if you don't know what heliocentrism is, it basically means the world don't revolve around you, pal. Uh, it revolves around the sun, actually, and pal is the earth. The earth revolves around the sun. That's what I mean. Now I know. I can already hear you saying, "Hey, chuckle nuts! I already know the earth revolves around the sun. What's that got to do with me?" And hold your horses. Listen, nobody's as wise as you, guy. All right. 350 years ago, everybody. It was the stupid ages. People didn't know what was going on. You gotta give them. These people were sitting by candlelight for Pete's sake. You gotta cut them some slack. This sort of topic needs like lots of perspective. Because if I came up to you and I said, "Hey, there's tiny aliens crawling all over your body, and if you don't get them off your hands, you'll die," you'd look at me and say, "You need to be put in a padded cell, pal. You need to be put in a restraint or something. Put them in the paddy wagon, boys." But all I was explaining was germs. That's germs, baby. So as we go through this, just remember the key word, people. Perspective. That's the word of the day. It's P-R-S-P E-C-T-I-V-E. I think I got it right. P-R-P-S-P-A. Okay, yeah, I got it. Also, another disclaimer, I'm gonna be talking about a lot of religion today, so, sorry if I offend you when I make fun of it, but come on, you gotta admit it's a little funny in parts. Like, there's a whole part where Jesus goes to an island, and there's this guy on the island that's possessed by, like, 1,000 devils or something, and he's like, "I am legion because we are many," and Jesus is like, "Get out of him, all you demons," and then he kind of, like, moves the demons over, like, copy and paste them, or not, like, copy and paste them, just kind of, like, move them. He gets them out of the man, and he puts them in, like, this, like herd of pigs that are just, like, living on the island, and all the pigs just, like, fly off a cliff or something, and the farmer gets mad at Jesus because he basically killed his livestock and his whole, like, living, and so he just tells Jesus to leave, and that's that story. So, come on. It's a little silly. Alright, but enough delaying the inevitable. Let's finally talk about Galileo and the Church. But we're gonna start at the end of the story. On Halloween 1992, the Vatican officially apologized to Galileo for wrongly accusing him of heresy when he said the Earth revolved around the Sun. Now, the Earth going around the Sun is common knowledge nowadays, but 359 years ago, that wasn't really the case. Remember, you called me chuckle nuts, and I said, let's remember perspective? Well, the perspective of the time was that the sun went around the earth, the other way around. This theory of the sun going around the earth is called geocentrism, which basically means that the earth is at the center of it all. Really, it is based on good reference. I mean, if you went outside and you looked, you'd see the sun moving, and you would think to yourself, oh, that means the sun's moving around the earth. If you didn't have any other knowledge outside of that, of course that's what you would believe. The Bible itself also makes reference to the sun and the moon and the earth all moving in a certain way that kind of, albeit vaguely, points to the geocentrist theory. But again, it was when the Bible was written, so it was probably based on just them looking at the sun and thinking that's how it is. And the church can't really afford to lose its image. If it went out and said, yeah, we were wrong about the geocentrist theory, then what if they were wrong about this too, or this, or this? Really, it just felt like if they couldn't stay in this position of seeming like an all-knowing organization, then they would lose their merit and people would start to not believe in them. Alright. I've yacked on enough about the church. I'm tired of hearing about the church. The Catholic Church, whatever. I hear about them every day. I want to hear about this Galileo guy, Galileo Galilei. He's got a good name to it, a nice ring. It sounds like a nice guy. I'd like to meet him, an Italian man. Sounds like an upstanding man in his community. Sounds like he would do something amazing. I don't know. He probably researched a planet or two. Sure, I don't know. Now, Galileo was an astronomer by trade, but he was a man of many talents. Like, if I just go through my notes and just, he accomplished so much stuff. Like, invented the hydrostatic balance, the forerunner to the modern thermostat, improved the military compass, discovered the pendulums were I don't know, that sounds kind of nerdy. Not his best one. He's the father, the daddy-o of observational astronomy. He discovered the phases of Venus, which, by the way, proved the heliocentric theory, and 4 large Jupiter moons. That's another one. I don't know. Principle of relativity, that's something. Put that one down, I don't care. Now, Galileo was a smart guy. Nobody can deny that. He was a brainiac, if you will. Just a big brain boy out in Italy. Now, Galileo was smart, but maybe his brain was a bit too big for his britches, because he wrote a little book, and it was a little scathing, if you will. Galileo's book, Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems, featured 3 characters that kind of walked you through the book and explained the theories he was coming up to you. The first guy was this really smart guy who kind of represented Galileo himself, who would explain these theories. The second guy was sort of a middleman. He would agree with both sides of the argument, siding with religion here, siding with Galileo and his theories here. And the last guy was really dumb. So dumb, his name in the book is Simplicio. He was described as dogmatic and foolish, and he's the main thing that starts this sort of controversy about heliocentrism. Of course, there were the pre-existing concerns about heliocentrism, but as soon as Pope Urban VIII got a whiff of that Simplicio, he thought it was about him. You know, he remember earlier when I was saying it all revolves around you, pal? That's what Pope Urban VIII thought. He thought it all was about him. He thought Simplicio was him. Pulled Galileo out of his studio and had him tried in front of the Roman Inquisition. Very kind of scary, actually. Now the stage is set for the main trial, the main event, but we'll be right back to that after this word from our sponsors. Has this ever happened to you? Have you been going about your day when suddenly a little green creature known commonly as a goblin, low-class goblin, enters your house and or living space? Don't you just want it to go away forever? Well, say goodbye to goblins and hello to me. Hello, I'm Silly Maze, and today I'm here to sell you Goblin Gone, the new revolutionary way to get rid of those pesky little goblin ghouls things. With Goblin Gone's revolutionary new technology, it literally calls down heavenly beings to absolutely obliterate all little critters in your house, including goblins. Watch as Goblin Gone completely destroys this little guy. Wow, now that's effective. Let's take a look at more of our products. Buy the little baby portable cherub angel for killing and destroying goblins on the go. Now only for the low price of $4.99. Or give angels a try. Now starting at $5.99. Oh no, not anything but that, not that one. That's those real angels people keep talking about on TikTok. Those are the most effective in our entire catalog. I don't know if I would... Oh, it's looking at me, I don't know. I feel pale, I feel like I'm being judged. I feel euphoric, but I also feel terrified at the same time. Okay, I don't know what that is, but you can have it for $14.99. Goblin Gone doesn't just do goblins. No, it does so much more than that. If you see a ghoul or creature in your yard, don't feel shy. Give Goblin Gone a little try, okay? Do it for me, please. Mwah. And if you order right now, I'll give you two little gold little shekels I just found. Just down here. Just if you want them, you can have them. Bye. Thank you again to Goblin Gone for sponsoring today's episode. You know, Goblin Gone is actually a Lovely little company. They've helped me out of a couple of rough spots. About like 3 years back, I actually had a pretty bad goblin problem, but I wish I had Goblin Gun at that point. I had some good lawyers for that, but I think Goblin Gun really would have helped. Speaking of goblins, Pope Urban VIII was not having Galileo. He saw him as a little stinker, little troublemaker, little prankster, and he had enough of his radical new ideas, and he wanted him donezo. Despite what some people think, it wasn't a 17-year-long grueling trial. It actually was done in like half a day, and everything went pretty swimmingly. Swimmingly, if Galileo was a rock. The man was found guilty for heresy. Kind of. Although he was getting up to some shenanigans in the eyes of the church, Galileo was a very respected man during the time. Being tried for heresy was punishable by death. There was a man named Bruno a couple of years earlier who was found guilty of heresy for the exact same thing, for claiming that the earth revolved around the sun, and he was burned at the stake for it. But Galileo didn't get burned at the stake. I said he kind of got tried for heresy, or found guilty of heresy, because his actual or what he was actually found guilty of, was strong suspicion of heresy. The man got off pretty easy considering what happened to Bruno just a couple years earlier. But Galileo was put on indefinite house arrest for the rest of his life, and he died that way. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah. Maybe he didn't get off that easy. However, where the narrative changes for this story depends on whether you ask somebody that sides with Galileo or somebody that's sympathetic with the church. It really depends on who you ask at this point. And then you get stories where they're wildly different from each other. One side says that he was threatened with torture and he eventually had to basically submit, and even to his last defying breath, he whispered under his his sly little whispered under there. Uh, he said something like, "And yet it moves," in reference to the Earth moves around the sun. And the end of that story is basically Galileo died sad and trapped in his own home. But he was trapped in a very nice villa, and was also allowed to continue doing his work. So, really, you see how different the situation is than people try to convey it as, when you omit details like that show that the church wasn't all that bad. Yeah, they were wrong, and yeah, they eventually apologized for it. Good on them, but in the end, they were just doing their job and trying to save face and maintain their position as the church, but they were trying to be a little lenient on Galileo. Maybe not lenient enough for some people, but I wish Galileo got off a little easier. Like, I wish he was still alive, but how old would he have been? Like, yeah, I think he would have died either way. In the end, it's another example of some scientific thing that we take for granted nowadays, really showing how hard it was for these kind of things to hit the ground running or get their footing in the end. I mean, as much as the church was wrong for doing what they did, they it makes sense when you look at it. It's not a weird thing that they tried Galileo for saying the things he did or anything like that. It all adds up pretty much. It's just the church doing typical things during that time. And yeah, I know. I wish the story had a happier ending too. I mean, we all praise Galileo nowadays, and you know what? The church, they apologized. That church apologized. They don't do that very often. It was a big deal. And you know what? Feel happy for the man Galileo, because he was uh, actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, so I won't say it, but I'm going to think it really hard, and the viewer will know what I'm thinking. Okay, you guys got it. And hey, thanks for watching, everyone. I enjoyed making this. It was a fun semester. Really enjoyed this English class. I had a lot of fun making these podcast things. I always mean to get around to making little videos or something like that, but I never really get a good topic or have anything in mind. But school's actually pretty nice for this kind of thing, giving me little projects to do that let me do it in a venue like this that I actually enjoy doing. All right, enough sap. Go eat a turkey, you pumpkin. I'm gonna go enjoy KFC because I'm not. because turkey, I gotta admit, guys, turkey's not as good as everyone says it is. It's like a worse chicken. It's dry, has like no flavor to it. It's not as good. Like, come on, guys, we have to we have to come together and come to an agreement on this because I'm not gonna stand for turkey being like they pardon a turkey anyway. Just leave turkey. What do turkeys even do? I don't know. Who cares? They're turkeys.
Okay, bye bye. Bye. See you later. Bye.